My girlfriend texted, "At my ex's place tonight. Deal with it." I replied, "Okay." Then I packed her things and left them outside his apartment door. Her tea didn't work when she tried coming home the next morning. I, 28 male, still can't believe I'm typing this out. Been sitting here for an hour just staring at my laptop. Guess I need to get it off my chest. Wednesday night, around 8 p.m. I'm on the couch watching the game when my phone buzzes. Text from my girlfriend Cassie, 26. We've been together almost 3 years, living together for the last 18 months in my apartment. Cassie, at Nate's tonight. Deal with it. That's it. No explanation, no context. Nate is her ex from college. The one she swears is just a friend now whenever his name pops up in her stories. I read it 3 times. My first instinct was to blow up her phone, demand explanations. Then something just clicked. The casual disrespect, the deal with it. Like I'm some doormat she can walk over. Me, okay, put the phone down, turned off the game, and got to work. See, Cassie moved into my apartment. My name on the lease, my furniture, my everything. She contributed to groceries and utilities, sure, but this was always my place that I let her share. Important detail for later. Spent the next 3 hours methodically packing her stuff. Clothes, makeup, that collection of succulents she was always fussing over, her books, everything. Used the good boxes from my recent Amazon orders, even bubble-wrapped the fragile stuff. I'm not a monster, just done. The kicker? I knew where Nate lived. Cassie had me drop her off there once for some group study session a few months back. Apartment complex about 20 minutes away. Loaded everything into my truck. 3 trips to get it all. By midnight, I'd stacked every single one of her possessions neatly outside Nate's apartment door. Even left a note on top. Since you're staying there anyway, Jake. Drove home, changed the locks, had been meaning to upgrade to the smart locks anyway, perfect timing. Went to bed. The next morning was interesting. 7:23 a.m., pounding on my door. Look through the peephole, it's Cassie, looking disheveled and furious. Jake, open the door. My key doesn't work. I crack the door, keeping the chain on. Me? Morning. Cassie, what did you do to the locks? Me, upgraded them. Only residents get keys. I am a resident. Let me in. Me, no, you were a guest, and you moved out last night. Your stuff's at Nate's. Her face went from red to white to red again. You can't do this? I live here. Lived. Past tense. You chose to spend the night at your ex's and told me to deal with it. I dealt with it. It wasn't like that. We were just talking. His roommate was having a crisis, and don't care. You made your choice. I made mine. Where's all my stuff? Safe and sound outside Nate's door. Better hurry, might rain later. She actually screamed, like full banshee wail. Mrs. Chen from 4B poked her head out to see what was happening. You're insane. You can't just throw me out. I have rights. You have no lease, no mail here, nothing legal tying you to this apartment. You were my guest, now you're not. She tried to push past me. I closed the door. She pounded on it for another 5 minutes, threatening to call the cops, her dad, a lawyer. I put on headphones and made breakfast. Eventually the pounding stopped. Figured that was the end of it. Nope. Update 1. Hoo boy. The entitlement is off the charts. So Thursday, the morning she couldn't get in, was just the beginning. After she left my hallway, apparently she called an Uber to Nate's place. Found all her stuff outside his door. Most of it still there, but some had been borrowed by neighbors. Shocking, leaving valuables in an apartment hallway. Her plants were dead from being in the cold overnight. Here's where it gets good. Nate apparently had his actual girlfriend over. Yeah, the crisis was his roommate's. But Nate failed to mention he's been dating someone named Helena for 4 months. Cassie showing up with all her earthly possessions did not go over well. But does Cassie take responsibility? Accept that her choices led here? Of course not. Friday afternoon, I'm at work when security calls up. There's a delivery for me in the lobby that requires my signature. Suspicious, I head down. It's Cassie. With her dad, Roger. Security wouldn't let them up without my permission. Bless you, Derek, the security guard. Roger starts in immediately. Roger, Jake, what's this nonsense about you making my daughter homeless? Me? I didn't make anyone homeless. I ended a relationship after she spent the night at her ex's. She explained that. It was innocent. You overreacted. She texted me at Nate's tonight. Deal with it. That's not explaining, that's declaring. I pulled out my phone, showed him the text. His face twitched. Roger, still doesn't give you the right to throw her things out. Me? I carefully packed and delivered them to where she chose to stay. Nothing was thrown. Half my stuff was stolen. My plants are dead. My laptop is missing. Should have thought about that before the deal with it text. Then she played what she thought was her ace card. I want the $1,200 I gave you for rent this month, since you're kicking me out. You gave me $600 for your half of August rent. It's August 28th. You got 28 days of residence. No refunds for breaking up via disrespect. This is illegal eviction. We'll sue. Please do. I'd love to show a judge the text where she announced she was staying elsewhere, my response, and proof she was never on the lease. Also happy to show the building security footage of me peacefully moving her belongings. Derek, the security guard, absolute legend, chimed in. I can confirm Mr. Jake was very careful with the boxes, even helped him load some into the elevator. Roger turned purple. Cassie started crying. Then came the new tactic. Cassie, baby, please, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. Can we talk about this? Me, we just did. Have a nice day. Walked back to the elevator. Derek stopped them from following. But wait, there's more. Saturday morning I wake up to 23 missed calls. Not from Cassie, she's blocked. From my gym buddy Antonio. Check my texts. Bro, your ex is here causing a scene. She's telling everyone you're abusive. Now she's crying to the manager. Security is escorting her out. Limo, apparently Cassie showed up at my gym, she knew my Saturday routine, and tried to confront me there. When I wasn't there, I'd gone to a different location across town, had a feeling she might try something. She started telling anyone who'd listen that I was an abusive boyfriend who threw her onto the streets. The manager, who knows me well, asked her to leave. She refused. Security got involved. She's now banned from that location. Then came the social media campaign. Mutual friends started texting me. Cassie posted this whole sob story on social media about being suddenly homeless and abandoned by someone I trusted. Conveniently left out the "at Nate's tonight, deal with it" part. I posted one response. A screenshot of her text and my okay reply. Nothing else. Let people draw their own conclusions. The best part? Nate's girlfriend Helena found the post and commented, "Is this why you showed up at my boyfriend's apartment with all your stuff?" The post got deleted real quick after that. Sunday afternoon I get a text from an unknown number. Unknown, this is Nate. We need to talk about Cassie. No, we don't. She won't leave my apartment. Me, sounds like a you problem. Dude, seriously, she's causing problems with Helena. Should have thought about that before whatever Wednesday night was. Nothing happened. We just talked. Don't care. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Block that number too. It's been a wild few days. I'm eating takeout on my couch, enjoying the peace and quiet. Changed my Netflix password too, just for good measure. Zero regrets. Update 2. Y'all wanted an update? Buckle up because Cassie's entitlement has reached new heights. Monday after the last update, I get a call from my landlord, Dimitri. Good guy. We've always been cool. Jake, I just got a very interesting call from someone claiming to be your girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend, what did she want? She says you illegally evicted her and wants me to give her a key to your apartment. What did you tell her? That she's not on the lease, never was, and I can't give keys to random people. She got quite upset. Thanks for having my back. No problem. But Jake, she also tried to convince me you were mentally unstable and she was worried about your safety. Suggested maybe I should do a wellness check. The absolute audacity. Trying to weaponize my landlord against me. Tuesday, I'm working from home when there's a knock. Through the peephole, I see 2 police officers. Deep breath. Open the door. Officer 1. Mr. Jake, we're here for a wellness check. Someone called concerned about your mental state. Me, let me guess. My ex-girlfriend Cassie? Officer 2. We can't disclose who called, but yes. I invited them in, made coffee, showed them the text exchange, explained the situation. They were cool about it. Officer 1. So you broke up with her and asked her to leave? She announced she was staying at her ex's for the night. I packed her things and delivered them there. She was never on the lease. Officer 2. And you're feeling okay? No thoughts of self-harm? Me, officer, I'm the happiest I've been in months. Just frustrated she's escalating like this. They took notes, said they'd document it as a false report, warned me she might escalate further. Boy, were they right. Wednesday evening, I'm at the grocery store when I notice Cassie's friend Marissa accidentally bumping into me by the cereal aisle. Marissa, oh Jake, funny running into you here. I shop here every week. She lives across town. Marissa, so? Heard about you and Cassie. Pretty harsh, don't you think? Nope. She's staying on my couch now. Nate kicked her out. She's really struggling. Okay. Don't you care at all? 3 years together and you just throw her away? She threw us away with a 2-sentence text. I just took out the trash. Wow, she said you'd become cold. Guess she was right. Grocery shopping here done? Bye, Marissa. But here's where it gets really good. Thursday, I get an email from a lawyer. An actual, legitimate lawyer's office. My stomach drops for a second until I read it. It's a cease and desist letter from Nate's lawyer, telling Cassie to stop harassing him and Helena, stop showing up at his apartment, and stop spreading false information about their relationship. How do I know this? Because Cassie, in her infinite wisdom, CC'd me on her reply where she went off on this lawyer claiming I manipulated the situation and that Nate owed her support during this difficult time. The lawyer's response, also CC'd to me, was beautiful. Miss Cassie, you were not invited to stay at my client's residence. Your ex-boyfriend's decision to deliver your belongings there does not create any obligation on my client's part. Continued contact will result in a restraining order. Additionally, copying third parties on legal correspondence is inappropriate and unprofessional. I laughed so hard I nearly choked on my coffee. Friday rolls around. I'm thinking things are finally dying down. Wrong. I get a notification from my credit monitoring app. Someone tried to apply for a credit card using my SSN. Take one guess who? Yeah. She tried to open a credit card in my name. That's when I stopped finding any of this funny. Called the credit card company, froze my credit, filed a police report for identity theft. The officer taking the report looked familiar. It was Officer 2 from the wellness check. Officer 2? Your ex again? Me, yep. This is escalating. You might want to consider a restraining order. I provided all the documentation, the false wellness check, the harassment, now identity theft. He said they'd be in touch. Saturday morning, yesterday, there's a knock at my door. Check the peephole. It's Roger, Cassie's dad, alone this time. I talk through the door. Me, Roger, I'm not opening the door. What do you want? Jake, please. This has gotten out of hand. Cassie's not herself. She tried to open a credit card in my name. That's a felony. Long pause. What? Identity theft. I've filed a police report. Jesus Christ. Jake, I had no idea. She said you were being unreasonable, but this... Me, Roger, I need you to leave. Tell Cassie any further contact needs to go through lawyers. I understand. I'm sorry, Jake. I'll talk to her. He left. Seemed genuinely shocked about the identity theft. Last night, I get texts from 3 different numbers. All her friends. You're really going to ruin her life over a credit card? She was desperate. You made her homeless. Have a heart. I didn't respond. Just screenshot everything for the lawyer I'm hiring Monday. This morning, woke up to an Instagram notification. Cassie created a new account. I'd blocked her main and sent me one message. You won. Happy? Actually? Yeah, I am. My apartment is peaceful. My credit is locked down tight. I've got a paper trail of her escalating behavior. And I've learned exactly what kind of person I was dating. The entitlement is staggering. She really thought she could send that disrespectful text, face 0 consequences, and then escalate to literal crimes when she didn't get her way. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Final update. This is the last update because it's finally, truly over. And the ending is, well, you'll see. After the identity theft incident, I hired a lawyer, not some ambulance chaser, a real bulldog named Valentina who specializes in harassment cases. Cost me a chunk of change, but worth every penny. First thing Valentina did was send a cease and desist to Cassie, her father, and all the flying monkeys who'd been texting me. The letters were beautiful. Outlined everything from the false wellness check to the identity theft, made it clear that any further contact would result in immediate legal action. Most of the friends backed off immediately. Roger actually sent a formal apology through his own lawyer, stating he was unaware of his daughter's actions and would ensure no further contact. Cassie, not so much. See, I forgot to mention something in my last update. While all this was going down, I'd been getting notifications that someone was trying to reset my passwords, email, banking, even my PlayStation account. All going to an email address I didn't recognize. Valentina said this was another form of harassment and documented everything. Then, about a week after the cease and desist, something interesting happened. I get a call from Antonio at the gym. Antonio, yo Jake, you're not gonna believe this. Remember your ex? Me, unfortunately. She just tried to cancel your membership. What? Yeah. Came in claiming to be your wife, said you were in the hospital and needed to cancel all your subscriptions. Manager didn't buy it, asked for ID and proof of marriage. She stormed out. I added it to the pile for Valentina. But here's where karma really kicked in. Remember Marissa, Cassie's friend whose couch she was crashing on? Well, I get a text from a number I didn't recognize. Unknown. Jake? This is Helena, Nate's girlfriend. Can we talk? Curious, I called her. Turns out Cassie hadn't given up on Nate. She'd been showing up at his work, his gym, sending flowers to his apartment. Helena was done. She wanted to compare notes for her own restraining order. But during our conversation, Helena dropped a bomb. Helena, did you know she's been fired from her job? What? When? Last week. She missed a bunch of days dealing with lawyers and harassing people. Then they found out she'd been using her work computer to try to hack your accounts. IT department found everything. I nearly dropped my phone. Cassie worked in digital marketing for a pretty good firm. Jobs like that require trust, especially regarding digital security. Getting fired for cyberstalking? Career killer. Helena. There's more. Marissa kicked her out, caught her trying to sell Marissa's designer purse on Poshmark, claimed it was hers. The spiral was real. 2 days later, Valentina calls me. Valentina, good news. The identity theft charges are moving forward. She's been arrested. Me, arrested? Yep. Turns out this isn't her first rodeo. She had a similar incident with an ex in college. Never prosecuted because the guy dropped charges. You're not dropping charges. Hell no. Good. Also, remember the attempted credit card? She actually succeeded with a different company. Ran up $3,000 at various online stores, all shipped to Marissa's address. The entitlement was staggering. She really thought she could steal my identity, max out cards, and... what? That I just accept it? The legal process was swift, with all the documentation, texts, emails, the false wellness check, the harassment of multiple people, the identity theft. It was a slam dunk case. Last week was the hearing. Cassie showed up looking rough, like really rough. Hair unwashed, clothes wrinkled, the works. She kept trying to make eye contact with me. I focused on Valentina. The judge reviewed everything. The prosecution laid out the false wellness check, harassment despite cease and desist, identity theft, multiple counts, attempted unauthorized access to financial accounts, harassment of third parties, Nate and Helena. Cassie's public defender tried to paint her as a woman scorned, dealing with sudden homelessness and emotional distress. The judge wasn't buying it. Judge, Miss Cassie, you were asked to leave a residence where you had no legal right to stay. Instead of accepting this, you engaged in an escalating pattern of harassment and criminal behavior. The identity theft alone is serious enough, but the pattern of behavior shows a deliberate intent to harm. The sentence: 18 months probation, mandatory counseling, restitution for the fraudulent charges, and a 5-year restraining order. If she violates any terms, it's straight to jail. But here's the kicker. Remember how she got fired? Turns out, word travels fast in the digital marketing world. She's essentially blacklisted. Can't get a job in her field. Last I heard, through the grapevine, she moved back with her parents in another state. Roger sent one final message through lawyers. An apology and a check for $3,000 to cover the fraudulent charges while the restitution goes through the courts. Wanted to make things right, he said. I accepted the money, but not the apology. Some things you don't come back from. As for me, I'm doing great. Still in my apartment, still hitting the gym, at various locations just to be safe, and definitely not dating for a while. Trust issues? Yeah, a few. The funny thing is, all of this started with 8 words, at Nate's tonight. Deal with it. I dealt with it. Looking back, the red flags were there. The entitlement, the casual disrespect, the way she'd push boundaries then play victim when called out. That text wasn't out of character. It was her showing exactly who she was. Some people asked why I went nuclear over one text. But it wasn't about one text. It was about someone thinking they could treat me like a doormat and face zero consequences. It was about someone who thought deal with it was an acceptable way to communicate in a relationship. She wanted me to deal with it? I did. Just not the way she expected. The lesson? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And when they tell you to deal with it, make sure you do, on your own terms. Thanks for following this wild ride. I'm closing this chapter and moving on. Stay strong, know your worth, and never let anyone treat you like their backup plan. Peace out.